Gimme. What on earth that all about?
Good evening, everyone. It's good. It's all of us from NUFC Talk TV. Chris has been sacked again for the 5th time this year. He just can't be bothered to show up to work, so we just thought we'd sack him as usual. So forget him. He's out. He's in prison for a couple of days. No, he's just out with family and stuff. So he'll be back. Don't panic. That one guy who really doesn't like me hosting will be really happy. So hello to you. Welcome. Do the usual stuff. You're always very nice. Do the likes or unlike. Again, I get told off by Chris, but it does traction for the show no matter what. Comment all those lovely things. Thank you for, again, amazing stream. The watch long did amazing numbers, so thank you so much, and the reaction did. So again, just can't say thank you enough to everyone for how much you're making the channel be one of the most popular watch longs on YouTube now. There's an obvious one that's a bit more popular than us at the moment, but we're second or third in the whole of Newcastle fans. So that's down to you guys. So thank you. So we're reeling off of a 1-1 with Brighton. Not as looking a bit of not a terrible result now after today. Chelsea obviously nearly crumbled with Nottingham Forest, but got a fortunate goal with a 3-2. But obviously Man United losing today does leave a bit of sunlight in an almost gloomy. We were a bit gloomy after the 1-1, thinking we might have lost Europe, but looking a tiny bit hopeful now. If we win at Man United and we win at Brentford, I think we are guaranteed 6th, are we? If we win or both or no?
If we win both, yeah, we'll get
both 6.
Win them both guaranteed.
Yeah.
Unless Chelsea score about 20 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
So there's a bit of sunshine there. Hopefully, with the lads. It was a weird performance. Well, I'm going to ask some of the guys because obviously Doc did reaction and we got a bit of win. We didn't see DX the other day and we was in the car and stuff. So we'll get more. We'll go around and see how everyone thought of the Brighton match. Just a brief one. But it feels more, I guess it feels like a good point now. But imagine if we had 3, we're just feeling a bit more, comfy in our sofas, knowing that we could get a point at Old Trafford if we had to, and not be, just be nervous. But we'll start with you, Gary. I mean, what do you take, for a couple of hours away? What have you taken away from the 1-1 and obviously with all the results?
I took away the fact that I was glad of the point. To be fair, it was. Me and you obviously commentated through the entire match, and it was hard to even commentate on because there wasn't enough action to actually get excited about. De Zerbi come with the low mid block, dropping the 5 across the middle of the park. That went to a 5 defence. He played the right tactics, if I'm honest with you. And I've listened to everybody on social media moan about time wasting and things like that. Now, at the end of the day, every single team in the league does it. They've come to try and grind out a result of some description. We were the favourites, and to be fair, they did a job on us. It was just, like I say, a really hard watch for any supporter to actually come away from that and feel as though they've got the money's worth. Because in my eyes, I don't think that there was a winner on the day. But I just hope everybody got home safe. It was a beautiful day, sunshine-wise, weather-wise, because if I'm honest with you, that's the only thing that I can come away with anything, I suppose, bright. I got a bit, I don't know about everybody else, but I was a little bit angry, I suppose, about the fans' reaction about Bruno's response. Now, I don't know how anybody else thinks about this, but when a player goes out there and doesn't perform well, the team don't perform well, how do they expect them to react? To me, all he's done there was reflect on the game. He was upset the fact that he hadn't achieved his goal that they set out pre-match. But everybody's, all of a sudden on his back. He's on the couch somewhere. You know what I mean? He's going to be gone. Blah blah blah. And like I said, from my point of view, there wasn't a lot to talk about regarding the match. and I just wish people. I mean, I've just seen now that Anthony Gordon's going. I don't know whether you've seen that.
Was that 100 million to Liverpool, wasn't it?
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Really?
Crazy.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I suppose it's nice to know that they're actually talking about somebody else. And the only other positive, if I'm going to say, of a really dismal weekend of sport for me was the fact that we are now being, all our players, all the star players that we've got, are now being linked everywhere. You know what I mean? So we can't be doing too much with it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Bruno stuff, we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, it's just, honestly, any little thing anyone does is, he's leaving, he waved, he said goodbye, he's saying goodbye to the fans. Bloody hell. Roy, what do you make of the 1-1, mate?
Yeah, awful. Thing is, we haven't every single game in the last 4 or 5 games. We start slow and then we either concede or score late and then chase the game. It happened against Sheffield United as well. Yesterday, what happened is we tried to come back. We did get one, but we just couldn't beat them. Lackluster the final third. Unlucky with that Miggy late pass to Miggy was about a split of seconds away, and Barnes missed a few. Then Miggy dived, disgraceful. So yeah, it wasn't happening. If you look at the game overall as well, in the first half they could have scored a few as well. There's that ball that Welbeck went through and he tried to chip it. And,
They had a header as well, didn't they? That was close.
There was a free header and that was strange.
Yeah.
Missed that one. But
then the chap fired at the bar. That was a good chance. Yeah, it had. Yeah, I mean, it could have been 3 or 4 up.
Yeah, from a neutral, probably say it was a fair result.
Yeah.
Apparently, the football was only 20 minutes. We saw 20 minutes played. That's it.
Bloody hell.
And 70 minutes stopped. On and off. So it wasn't really a football game to watch.
The ref didn't
anyway, we're still in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still in it. And with that Bruno, it's nothing. Anyway, it turns out Arsenal can't sign him. They haven't got the finances.
Haven't got the money.
Yeah, because it comes out of this year's finances, so they're not going to buy him. And then Ben Jacobs said PSG are not going to come in for it. So it's probably only Real Madrid, City, maybe. That's it if he goes. I wouldn't blame him anyway if he goes. But it would be good money for us. We get the money early, and you can spend that 100 million will be 140, 150. Plus the money we've got to spend next season. So I think he's stable. I think he'll stay.
He'll stay. Yeah. Go on and win. What did he make of the 1-1?
Well, reflection. I've watched it again a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was at the time.
Okay.
I think we all went into that game thinking we're going to walk it. Brighton were going to have their flip-flops on, and it was 3 points in the bag. It was the other 2 games we had to worry about. But that doesn't happen in the Premiership, really. We created. It was getting back to everything we did last season. Just can't finish our dinner. We created umpteen opportunities and just didn't put them away. On another day, Murphy. Everybody's been complaining about Murphy's delivery into the box, but on another day he could have had 3 assists instead of 3 poor passes.
There was nobody there. Yeah, there was nobody there.
And that's the thing, and it gets back to what I've said time and time again. Isaac is not a centre forward. Brilliant player, brilliant striker, but he's not the fox in the box that Callum Wilson is. I think if Callum Wilson had been playing yesterday, it would have been comfortable.
Yeah,
absolutely comfortable.
Agree.
So we're all disappointed with the result, but the bottom line is we've got the point.
Yeah,
and so it's still in our own hands.
Yeah.
You know, which it wouldn't have been if we hadn't
the point,
got the draw. So onwards and upwards. Wednesday, here we come, and
I suppose it's one of those, if you do...
Go on, Paul.
No, I'm saying I suppose if you offered us a win at Brighton, a draw at Old Trafford, and a win at Brentford, you would have taken it. So if you just swap the results over a little bit, I guess if you win at Old Trafford and win at Brentford, it's exactly what we would have wanted.
It's the same now as it was before the game.
Yeah,
We knew before the game if we get 7 points,
we'll be fine. Yeah,
we're fine. No, Chelsea can't catch us. Man U can't, because if we get 7, obviously we get someone at Old Trafford.
yeah.
So they can't catch us, and we're in exactly the same position. The only slight difference now is that if Chelsea do win all 3 and we don't get another 6 points, then Chelsea can go above us. And if Man U win the cup final,
Yeah. Can you imagine Chelsea? I mean, I know Chelsea have phenomenal players, but the season they've had, them finishing above us would feel a bit deflating, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday again, Forest was so
Very close. Very close.
They threw it away at the finish, didn't it?
Chris Wood should have had a hat trick. He missed a lot of opportunities as well. So
yeah.
Newcastle's.
But I'm still
Newcastle,
on reflection. I'm still up there now, as opposed to yesterday when I came out of the match. I was down there, and now I'm back up there.
You never know. Brighton might do it. They play Brighton next, so and away. So Brighton at home.
Well, Brighton have got them both to play, of course.
Yeah, they've got both Man U and Chelsea.
Exactly.
So imagine Brighton beat both.
It's crazy.
And you look at them. You look at their attitude after, because they had a poor run, and their attitude was, I can't fault it. They definitely went on the beach on Saturday. They were fighting for every ball. So fair play to De Zerbi, because he's obviously got into them and said, like, this isn't good enough, lads. Like, we need to, so they're not going to go into Chelsea and
I said yesterday, Paul, when we saw their injury list, feeling as optimistic as we did, we thought, this is walk in the park. But of course, the players that went into the side yesterday, for all the injured players that they had, they've all got a point to prove, and they all had a point to prove, and they proved it very nicely, by the way.
Yeah. What did you make of it, Dom? Couldn't hear you, obviously, yesterday. So what did you make of the 1-1?
Yeah, I was disappointed as well. And I also think that if Callum Wilson had played, we would have won that game. That had a real feeling of Callum Wilson written all over it, that match for me. It just was one of those games, like the Everton game as well, actually. I was thinking that before kickoff, this is a really good game for Callum Wilson, so we really miss him. And the problem is the injuries seem to get more frequent now, and the gaps between them seem to get shorter and shorter. So it's getting frustrating. There were some positives. Try and take some positives from it. The point, as I think Wynn said, the point keeps us in control of our destiny.
Yeah.
So we win the 2 games. We've got to get 2 wins, and then we definitely get 6th place.
Yeah.
And I thought Lewis Hall was outstanding again. That's a few games in a row. I think he's one of our best players. He was excellent. I thought Anthony Gordon was lively. And the subs it just didn't work, but it nearly worked. But I actually, I'm very different on this thing than most people. I actually think Barnes was awful when he came on, and worse than Miggy.
Barnes has been getting quite a lot of. I was going to bring him up in a minute. I might as well go into it now. Because what did people think about Barnes when he came on? He had 2 or 3 chances where it could have finished the game off.
Well, also I felt that he delayed that pass through
the goal.
Because it was
Miggy's taking criticism for that, and that was he held back twice, and
he did, and he ran. He took he kind of
tried to watch his run, didn't he?
It wasn't his fault.
So I think Barnes, I don't know what was going on with him. He seemed really fuzzy-headed in that little cameo. He has in a few of them recently. I don't know if he's annoyed that he's on the bench, maybe, and he's like thinking,
Barnes an emotional player. That's what I was saying to you before. When he was at Leicester, he's very hot and cold. Barnes. He comes out and he looks like the next Maradona. You know what I mean? He's like he's everything just seems to go his way. And then, unfortunately, a majority of the time, and again, this is something that we never really saw, because when Leicester was in the Premiership and they were on that crest of the wave, everybody seemed to, whatever they touched turned to gold, didn't it?
Yeah.
Even the likes of Vardy, you know what I mean, who couldn't trap wind. But I mean, it was it's really strange the way people, like I said, I think he's starting to feel the pressure, very similar to how Gordon felt the pressure. You remember last year when he come in January?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
had that spat when he come off being subbed. It's very, and again, this is what I say about the mentality of play. It's not just the way they play with the feet; it's how they think about the game.
I'd be tempted to start him against Man United, Barnes, because I just
Then
think
he needs to start, and
yeah, we may as well see what he's got in him these next couple of games. We know
Mm.
there's a player there. Obviously, he shows flashes of brilliance here and there, like the goals against West Ham. But yeah, it's frustrating to see someone with that much talent. I kind of accept it a bit more with Sean Longstaff because we know his limits. But although I thought he played well, he actually played well yesterday. But yeah, with Barnes, it's the players there. That's the annoying thing. It's like this guy's a good player.
That is it.
It's the frustration. But I know a lot of Leicester fans actually have kind of said similar stuff when we signed him. Like, oh yeah, this guy, he's going to frustrate you a lot because you don't know what's going to happen.
you just can't seem to get going all
From
the
week
time.
to week. Yeah.
Any saying, do we park the bus on Wednesday? Absolutely not.
No.
I don't think
I'd be happy with it.
I don't think
that's negative.
I don't think we've got the defensive line, mate. To be fair, when you look at what we've got, even though, like I said, apart from that really crazy mistake, and this is what I said about going man for man. Whenever you go man for man and you've got your back 180 degrees away from the ball, how can you react? And that's been my criticism from day one of all managers when I watch it back over and over again, and I see exactly the same. They don't zonal mark and attack the ball and attack the space like it used to be in the good old days. No, it's let's see if I can take your shirt with me and stop you from getting the ball. And it's from my point of view, the only way you're ever going to stop this and change the methodology is by referees being a little bit sterner and start giving penalties for the shirt pulling, because it happens in every single game. And to us, I'm not saying it's just us doing it to other players. We get it done to us as well. And like I said, you saw it in Brighton. There was a lot of shirt pulling going on, and that's what I said. It's never going to change. That's the way every manager now seems to set up.
Do you
I
think?
think we will park the bus. I just got a funny feeling about it. I think we're going to park the bus.
Really?
Yeah, I just have a bad feeling. We went to Fulham and we did that, didn't we? We put everyone behind.
That would be disastrous.
Do you think if Wilson was kept away for this game, do you think Wilson starts with Isaac on Wednesday?
No, I think he has to if he's fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely if he did, but
that means 4 in the middle.
Yeah, I think I would say you just have to go for it because Wilson, especially if they've got Casemiro at the back again with Evans, but they're saying Martinez might be fit. But yeah, I mean,
Bruno Fernandes might be out.
He wasn't on the bench, was he?
Fernandes,
Martinez.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And Fernandes wasn't on the bench, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be missing anything.
So yeah, I don't know, but they'd be fit though. Are they going to be rushed back for this, and they might be a bit rusty? Martinez hasn't played for ages, has he? So
as I say, he's not played all season, more or less.
Is this their last game at Old Trafford?
No, yeah, because they got Brighton away, haven't they? I think last game.
Yeah, Brighton away.
So it's one of those where they're probably going to see this as well. Yeah, I mean, if they win. They are up against it. If they win, they could have a slight chance of Europe. But
the caveat is the FA Cup final, isn't it? That's where the focus will be.
Well, that's the other thing with them. They are going to have they're not going to want to miss out on the cup final. So they're not going to be busting a gut to break a leg or do anything. They might get injured and not be able to play in the cup final. But funny old team, Man United. How they are where they are this season, with the performances they've had, was it's crazy.
They're the masters.
Just keep on doing it because they are Man United, you know.
I was watching some social media stuff earlier on today, and there was a Chelsea fan who was thanking us because apparently when Mudryk scored against us in apparently that's where it changed for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So That was an interesting thing, and I haven't. To be fair, I wanted to go back and have a look to see how their results had gone on, but apparently that was their kickstart, winning the penalty shootout against us. Yeah, and the mighty trips to
I mean, they dropped
three-man show.
And it probably cost us the cup
absolutely.
final as well. That so it's
Yeah.
well, watershed moment in both teams' seasons, perhaps. Just one one mistake, you know.
They're about 12th at the time, I think.
But it would have been
they were,
because it would have been a cup final, but it would have been against bloody Man City again.
No, we would have had the cup
Yeah,
final.
but you'd still take the cup final, wouldn't you?
No, it would have been League Cup.
Yeah.
League Cup, yeah.
Against Liverpool, but it was their,
Liverpool, sorry.
It was their youth team, wasn't it? They put out the youth team.
Yeah.
So we would have had a little cheeky snip, but anyway, would have, could have. I suppose it doesn't matter.
Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of Tiger Studios' remarks there?
What's that?
If we bottle Europe, then Eddie needs to go.
No, I don't agree with that.
I mean,
yeah. If we finish below 10th, then maybe that's not going to happen.
You can't be that fickle.
Unbelievable what we've done this season, given the injuries we've had.
Mm.
I know people say that you can't look at that and use that as an excuse.
Well,
but you look at every other team that have had similar type of injuries and where they are. You know, I know they'll say, like, you know, well, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City have had injuries. But listen, when you've got the bench that they've got, that's starting 11 for most teams that they've got sat on the bench. And I still reckon would probably compete for the top 4 position if they were in another team.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I can't honestly, from my point of view, considering we've still got a large percentage of Stevie Bruce's team playing for us and playing well above what their capabilities are in my eyes, from what I saw during the Stevie Bruce era, I can't fault them. I can't fault them whatsoever. That's what I said. I said from the start it'll take 6 transfer windows of doing business before we can actually even consider being in that luxury position.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, every time I see Richie and Dammit on the bench, my heart sinks. I just think, oh God, look at what we've got. Look at the backup.
And
then when Richie comes on, I just think he only ever comes on when we're 4-0 up these days. But still, it's like, well, this is it. We've put up we've declared on 4 now at this point. So yeah, it's always a bit. But it actually reminds me a little bit of there was Sir Bobby's last full season at the club, and we had a similar issue. We came 5th, but it was we had the same points roughly, 56. It was lower points to get 5th that year. And on the last day, we got a point to go above Villa.
That's right.
We got a point at Anfield. But that season, all the fans were really disappointed. And then it kind of went into the next season, and then Sir Bobby got the boot. So I hope that doesn't happen with Eddie. You know, we've got to pick ourselves up quickly, and whatever happens, hopefully we'll get 6th. And also, do you guys think that 6th feels very different to 7th? I don't know why, but 6th feels like a good season.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Massively.
Top 6. I don't know why. There's some mythical thing about
5th is even better.
Especially if you...
That's being too optimistic with.
I know it's small victories, but especially if you end the season above Man United and Chelsea, that's not, that's especially with our season, that's a nice end to the season.
Yeah, that's pretty good going, isn't it?
I know it's small little victories and who cares, but but
again, it's the amount of money that they've spent, Paul, isn't it? You know, when you compare what we've spent, I know they say about us being the richest club in the world. It doesn't mean an absolute thing in this current system because we're not allowed to spend anything. Well, so when we have the chance to spend what these guys have spent, then we can say, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Where we do have a bit of hope is that Brighton have actually a very good home record this season. If they win their last 2 games, they could easily have the 7th best in the league. So that's not bad. So
he's told his players, like I said when we saw us on Saturday, he's told them outright, "I want you. You're getting top 10. You're getting it." Like I said, fair play to them because they were heading for they weren't in games the last couple of weeks. They just weren't getting anything. They weren't anywhere near anyone. And I think the players probably kind of thought, who cares sort of thing. And I think maybe he thought, like, I need to get them, passionate again. And maybe he's told them, like, you do it and you get so much bonus or whatever he's done, whatever. But it's worked. And, like I said, Chelsea and Man United games because Brighton gave us a hell of a game, so
Yeah.
Chelsea aren't going to have an easy time, and nor Man United. So
It did frustrate me a bit at the end that they were time wasting for them as well, because I thought a win for them would make sense, because they're only been 2 points behind West Ham with a game in hand, but they played for a draw, I guess, and they got it. But
yeah, I mean, Kenny said here, beat PSG 4-1 at home and beat them 1-0 away. Well, I mean, yes, technically we did, but yeah, I mean, no, I don't think it has been a bad season. I got really frustrated with people saying that. I mean, it was the usual people that hate us saying that we embarrassed ourselves in Europe. I think that's
we definitely didn't embarrass ourselves. Jesus,
very harsh.
Embarrassed ourselves in Europe, so the two teams that knocked us out end up in the semi-final. One of them's in the final and could very, very likely win it.
We were naive. We were naive more than anything. We just went into that Milan game and we went for the jugular when we should have. That should have been a moment where we just took a breath.
The minute Jonathan scores that screamer, we just literally brick wall it. Who cares?
Brick wall it.
You get the 1-0. You just get out.
Yeah. But it's really, just going back on that comment about Eddie Howe out. I didn't realise we'd got the 4th best home record in the division, and a season high of 49 goals. I know that's not a record, but I mean, it's not a bad campaign considering what we've gone through. It's just a shame that our away form just has let us down.
Yeah,
because we picked up actually more points at home this season than we did last season, haven't we? One more point.
Yeah.
Foxy's got a question here saying, so next season starts, we have a very similar season to this season. We finish 6th or 7th next season. Is that when the questions get asked of Eddie Howe, do you guys think?
Full squad.
Yeah, I think he's got to prove himself now.
The full squad shouldn't be below 6.
If we've got a full squad next season, obviously you're going to get the odd injury,
of course, yeah.
And Tonali will be back.
Our squad right now, without any additions, is sufficient to sustain a top 4 challenge with the players we've got right now. We've got cover in every position, all over the pitch, if everybody's fit.
I'll be very disappointed if we're below.
You can do without 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, whatever. You can't do without a full 11 like we've been playing with most of the season.
It was like December that crippled us, wasn't it? Playing the same team back to back to back.
Yeah.
Virtually throughout December. And then come January, then come January, they're dropping like flies.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with him. I agree. I think what the original plan was 5 years, wasn't it? The 5-year plan. I think come the end of the 4th season, I think there's got to be a massive. I say a massive change. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still in 6th position, with a really crock side, and like I say, with the resemblance of Steve Brucey's side. So I honestly still believe that we have done miracles, even now, even with classing this as a poor season.
Yeah, and it's a young squad, really. It's not. I mean, we are slowly making it younger. Got players coming through, and I think Hall and Tino are going to be great fullbacks for us for years to come. So Isak's only 24, and Miley's
coming in,
for this experience. So there's a lot of, and Tonali's 24, isn't he? So I think next season 6th. I think the question would be then: is that his ceiling? Is that where we're always going to be about 6th? We had a 4th, but then would it just revert to 6th? And that would be where.
I'll not be happy with 6th next season.
No, we'd like to be a bit higher than that.
I'll be hoping top 4, but
call it stupid. I honestly believe if we'd had a full squad available, with obviously the odd injury and the odd suspension, we wouldn't have just been top 4. We would have been challenging for the title this season.
Well, but no, you're saying
no doubt in my mind at all about that.
You factor in the games that, we're not being big-headed, but the games that we should have won, the Forest, the Luton, those games, if we factor those in as wins, we would be 4th right now.
I think 4th was there for the taking. I think Villa have been useless the last couple of months.
And then if you look
Spurs
at
completely
if you then look at the games against Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal,
exactly,
because they're the games that count. They're the games that are going to be telling who wins the title and who doesn't. The games that played against each other. It's like when we lost the league to Man United, They beat us twice.
Yes, yeah.
So it was a 6 point,
Yeah.
6 point swing. If we win the home game, which we should have done, we win the league by 2 points instead of losing it by 4.
Yeah.
They are the games that are going to count next season. And we have done extremely well this season against the top, the top 6 sides.
And he's got Palace going fourth next season.
Apart from Liverpool, of
I
course.
think
Well,
Palace are
yeah,
going to
Palace-
lose 5 of their best players in summer, mate.
I think that's the problem for Palace.
I think they're building something good there, though, and I think Chelsea will be a real threat next season.
Chelsea's the one.
I feel like Emery. He always does this kind of thing where second season he does really well, but then he drops off. So I think Villa will drop off, and they're going to have probably Champions League next year.
Champions
So
League.
They've got Champions League.
Yeah.
I think they'll have struggles like we have. They'll be
Liverpool
able-
might have a transition season depending on how
Yeah,
Yeah.
Apparently, he likes Minte, doesn't he? This moment?
Have you heard this nonsense about Liverpool coming in for Gordon?
Yeah,
Bullshit.
Yeah.
100
Whoever
million.
wrote that doesn't know anything about Everton and Liverpool. And my God.
Here's a question: Who would,
No, well, apparently he is a Liverpool fan. Was when he was a
Is he?
Bayern and that till he went to Everton.
Well, if we had to lose
He's
one of
not
those
leaving
players,
here. If you
Mighty
look
man.
at all his stuff, he ain't leaving here.
who would you rather? If we had to lose one, Bruno, Gordon, or Isak? Who would
Isaac
you?
for me.
Really? No, but he's irreplaceable. Strikers are much harder to come by than wingers and midfielders, I think.
Here's a positive question.
But
Do
Bruno
Newcastle
for me-
win something in the next 3 years?
Yeah, I think we'll probably win the what's it called, the Conference League,
Win the league in
Yeah,
27.
Conference League.
and maybe a League Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, League Cup,
Well-
Conference League.
Win the FA Cup in 55, the 70-year centenary. Premiership in 27, the 100-year centenary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be it.
And
That'd be
we'll,
amazing.
we'll throw the Champions League in between the two of them.
37 to win the Champions
I
League.
try to get that. I've tried with every single bookie in the country, and believe me, I'm on quite a few of the websites to try and get that bet, and nobody would give us a price.
Oh,
I'll tell you, I mean,
So-
a lot of weird
For the
fans.
FA Cup 25, Champions League 26, and Premiership 27, nobody would give me a price.
I'm telling the
It
people
should have
that
been.
know
It should have been 10,000 to 1.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
I
even
remember
give us
when
100 to
the people
1.
in Newcastle, the people that say we're entitled fans and all this, right? I'm bored of it. We were celebrating when the windows are cleaned, okay? We were celebrating when Sports Direct got taken off the board. I tell you what, this community of fans, if we win the bloody, and I don't care, pundits want to make it out like it's a Mickey Mouse Cup, whatever. If we win a League Cup, we are going to go bloody mental. And I don't care if you call us Tim Pot for it. I don't care if you make fun of us. I don't care, because it's just, it's the first trophy that we'd have in so long. And and imagine that any manager that wins a trophy of Newcastle is going to be forever a legend, whoever it is. If it's Eddie Howe, he's forever a legend. If it's the next manager that comes in, they're forever a legend. It was so close to being Keegan, as we saw. Bobby was, kind of close at times. So anyone that comes and does anything of note in this club is going to be a hero for the rest of their life.
Is that true? What I heard, I don't know whether you guys have. It's again, it could be just BS, as there's a lot going around. When their new development starts or is happening, there's going to be some type of statue of Keegan going up, or something going up of Keegan. Anybody heard anything?
I haven't heard that. I mean, he deserves
No.
it.
No.
I always
Well,
thought
I'm
they would
surprised there
name
isn't anything there.
I would have thought they would. I always thought they would have named a stand after him. But I know it's one of those things, because I know some people. I don't wish Kevin Keegan to pass away, by the way, but I know they normally grant that honour to people who have passed away in most circumstances. But Sir Alex Ferguson stand is there. He's still alive.
yeah.
I just always thought that Keegan deserved to stand.
Yeah.
But-
It'd be a nice touch, but
Yeah.
it come off something that I was reading about. There was a 21-year-old that put a comment just above it. It just made me giggle as I was reading through it. That he said, like, everybody that's become a supporter since the takeover, can you please go now? And I'm thinking, you're only 21, mate. You've not seen us in the hardship like we
Yeah.
guys have.
Wait till
Yeah,
you're
you wait till you're in
71.
the level league.
We are, Mikey. We're going to have a proper preview, but very quickly, guys, how are we feeling about Wednesday? Just quickly, obviously, because we won't go into the full preview, but I want to be fair to the comment.
I'm, if I'm honest, I'm positive about Wednesday.
Okay.
I think they've got to come and win. And at the end of the day, we have got the pace to get behind them. They play a three at the back. None of them are really quick. They like Dallo and I forgot his name now. It'll come to me in a minute. Bissaka to run on and create the overlaps and the overloads in the corners. And I just think at this present moment in time, and that's what I said before when I was doing in the chat. If we stop the percentage ball, because that's what I got really annoyed with on Saturday against Brighton. It was the percentage ball. There was no need to give the ball away in places that they did. And I think if they use the channels correctly, I think they could get behind them time and time and time again. And again, it's us changing the way they play, not us changing the way we play, type of thing. And I think that's what we've got to start looking at. But yeah, I think we've got every opportunity. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah. Their home record isn't exactly sterling, by the way. They've got the ninth best home record in the league. Same number of points as Brighton, but Brighton have played a game less. So
and by the way, out of that record that they've
terrible too, by the way.
out the record that they've got, that shouldn't be as good as it is.
No,
because Wolves were robbed, Forest were robbed.
Yeah.
So I would take a point, but I don't think anyone else would agree with that, would they? I just would take a point.
I'll take the point.
At least it gets them out of the equation.
True. Here's a great question: If the club were to make 3 statues right now of former players or managers, who would you want it to be? That's a great question.
Well, we've already got 2, so.
Well, I would. Go on, Roy.
Well, we've already got a plaque of Joe Harvey as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So just a statue.
Got to be win, isn't it, Mighty?
Yeah.
Well,
Davies.
Harvey definitely deserves a statue.
Colin Veach. I'll have one of Colin Veach.
He's got that plaque.
And Colin Veach, absolutely.
No, do you know what? I would just go for my 3 favourite players, and that's Nobby Solano, Les Ferdinand, and Shay Given. But that wouldn't be the 3, would it? Because Les was only with the club.
Make one of Maxi that spins with a battery and it spins around it. So
yeah,
rotating.
Duracell.
He got injured yesterday and was nasty. So I'm not sure how long he's out for.
That'd be brilliant. Question for the panel: do you guys really think the next season will not be the same as this season regarding with injuries? What makes you think the same will not happen?
No
Fair
way.
question.
Well,
no way.
I think with the
the
squad,
optimist as ever.
yeah. I mean, you've got to think of the we're going to have a brand new player back when Tonali's back, aren't we? So he's going to be a freebie to us.
Absolutely.
So even with that one person, I know this sounds really stupid, but 25% of the injuries that we've got now wouldn't have happened just with Tonali playing this season, because that middle park would have been changed, rotated a lot more than it actually has done. So you probably wouldn't have Anderson going off with a stress fracture, because it's all these little things, these what they class as overplaying injuries, that creep upon you. And everybody's going to scream and shout at the table and say, well, it's got to be something that Eddie Howe's doing. And that's what I said. When you haven't got anything to pick from on the bench, and just please go back and have a look at some of those games and some of the benches that he had to pick from and where he could change to change the game when we were losing, because there was hardly anything there. And that's what I said. You can't judge what he's done this season with what he's had this season. Wait till we've got a decent bench on a week-to-week basis and then judge his managerial style and his way, because only then you will see how Eddie Howe manages.
Yeah, and there's a few other factors as well, aren't there? We've got no Champions League next season, so even if we're in the Conference League, let's say, for example, we wouldn't have to put out our best team every game there. You look at some of the group games and stuff; they're not anywhere near that level. Not playing the elite teams. playing like the 4th or 5th place Greek side or something in the early stages. So and then we'll probably make some signings, I would expect, in the summer to add to the squad. And also there's a few players like Lewis Hall now who are trusted enough to play games where they weren't earlier in the season when we had all the injuries. It was like, nope, Lewis is still not coming on. But now I think he's earned the manager's trust. So I think we'll be in a better position.
It is a wonder, isn't it, whether having those no offense to them, but the easier games in Europe, whether that has less impact on the team.
Yeah, Villa were resting players.
Yeah.
Well, rotation, that's the key, isn't it?
I think
We just haven't been able to rotate this year at all.
I mean, the beauty of having I suppose I said the beauty of having that Thursday game. It's going to be a Sunday or a Monday night kickoff for us, don't you? So it's going to change it's going to change us, if you like, and the way we look at the games, because they're going to have to look. They've got a bigger window after the weekend game to prepare for Thursday, and Dex is right. The only thing that concerns me is the travel, especially if you've got some of the far European sides.
Can anybody explain to me what the difference between Thursday and Sunday and Wednesday and Saturday is?
Window.
Sorry?
There is no difference if you look at it on days, on numbers. But what I'm saying to you is, you get that extra window to train. That's what Liverpool have said. If you look at the way they've played, your start of your week is different, because Saturday would normally be your game day, wouldn't it? So you get your Saturday would be your Friday, and Liverpool, what Klopp has said this year, it's allowed him to have extra training sessions because he's been allowed to travel late on the evening, flying out to Europe rather than going like you would do on a couch during the day.
Okay.
He's been able to get extra training sessions in.
The other thing, and this is probably a question for Gary, really, but do you think it would be an idea, if we can, to try and sell some of these players like Willock and Wilson and people like that who are just always getting perennially injured, just to get some money in for them and try and replace them with more reliable players, and that would help the situation? Or do you keep those guys and just not play them much?
The biggest problem you have, and we went through this when we were looking at Lloyd Kelly, weren't we? Until you actually look at them, and you look at them, like, I suppose, deeply, and this is where I started to read into Ashworth's dealings with Tonali and why nothing was picked up about his gambling. Now, gamblers will always hide things. We know that, and not everything comes to the surface. But with injuries, it's like I said, a lot of it is luck, isn't it? I don't think you can actually have a glass ball and say, "Oh, we'll get rid of these two because they've been injury prone for us." They could go and play for somebody else and not pick up another injury in their career. I think a lot of it is pure luck, mate, to be fair, and style of football. And I think that's the other thing that I touched on before, with the change in style of football. Still using Steve Bruce, its team members that played. Well, some of them didn't train unless they trained by themselves. That's common knowledge to a lot of people. A lot of people then said when he come and trained, it was very low key. There was no impact training. It was very, low ebb to it. And now all of a sudden Eddie Howe's come in and he's changed that mindset, and he wants that, high levels of stress. Now that will have an impact on your body. So it doesn't matter who comes in, unless they've been playing that style of football, it's going to impact them the same.
Yeah,
but Wilson is an exception to the rule, isn't he? Because he's always injured. Even if he's playing under Steve Bruce, he was getting injured all the time. So I love him. I love Wilson, but I don't see how we can ever progress, really. Even if he's third striker.
But we said that the other day, didn't we? It was it 18 games the first season, then he did 26 games, then 18 games. No, I know they're not always starts, but what I'm saying to you is, it's like I said, he's always going to have a problem because of who he is. Would you cash in on him now? We've all said, would you replace? How can you replace Callum Wilson? Because there ain't that many centre forwards that play his style of attacking football.
Very true. I mean, here's a nice one again. Do you guys think with the strengthening of our needy positions and a much fitter squad, can we actually challenge for the Premier League title next season? Big question,
No,
Gary.
I don't-
I've
I don't think we're
already
there for the
replied to
title.
him. I do.
I'm going to say,
No.
Wynn said that from the start, to be fair.
Yeah. I think we need 3 or 4 top players and a couple of the kids to suddenly emerge and Tonali to be great. That's the only way it could happen, but I don't think it will happen. But if we're top 4 next
My
season,
biggest worry for next season is that Tonali is not going to be this superstar that we're all hoping he's going to be. Because after his first couple of games, to me, he didn't look that to me. I've never seen him.
No, but I think he had the pressure. Yeah, he had that mental pressure of the gambling over him as well, Win.
Well, you can say that, but I don't know.
Elsewhere. He looked distracted.
Against the Villa, before anything come to light, he was outstanding. Against the Villa, the first game of the season, and it was only after that game where things were starting to be, sounded out in the press and stuff like that. And I think, unfortunately, he'd probably got wind that there was obviously going to be some type of repercussion from that. And I don't think any player would have actually played with that type of pressure on the shoulders, buddy, to be fair.
I mean, JJ is saying Tonali is in that. Listen, I was in Milan, and when he came out, the Milan fans went absolutely apeshit for him.
Yeah.
They absolutely adore the kid. So he must have been doing something magical.
If he can adapt. Can he adapt?
He was good. He was good in that game. He was good in PSG game.
Well, I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't good against Milan. I don't think.
I've arguments with people about how good he was in that game, and I don't think he was that good. He was all that. But
my only argument was the fact that, and I said this, I was having an argument with Craig Hope, which isn't hard, and it was
steady, really Craig.
I mean, what I'm saying to you is he's got an opinion, and everybody else has. But he was saying that why is Tonali not being this and being that, and again he's coming to a brand new squad. And the only criticism of Tonali, he was always too close to Bruno in the second, third, and fourth games. He was in the 5-yard pocket of Bruno, so there was loads of space to the left or right of Bruno, but Tonali just wasn't getting to them, and it was as if he was again trying to manage the game differently to what he's been told to do.
Now, with the rules, because I can't remember the actual things of what it is. Can he play in pre-season games or no? Does that count?
Yeah, he can play.
He can play
in friendly games.
He can't play in public.
No, he can play in friendly games.
Can he even play behind closed doors? I thought he couldn't.
He can play in the pre-season. No, he's going to play in Australia.
Can he? Okay.
He can't.
I don't think he can.
No, he can't play any type of football in front of an audience until the 27th of August.
27th of August, definitely.
So he can't be in any of pre-season then?
It can't be any pre-season games whatsoever. He can play behind closed doors as an inter-group sessions. And I suppose they can play the likes of Gateshead behind doors, but they can't do anything that's what they class as competitive or in front of an audience.
See, that's a worry for me, because you need, as much as he might train and stuff, and that's great, you do kind of need like a pre-season to be very fit. That's my worry with him then, is that he might come in and he might be the player that keeps getting injured here and there because he hasn't had a proper pre-season. Yes, he's going to get training and maybe get a game behind closed doors if that's allowed. But that's it. Not a full. We could get done with him having a full pre-season, but.
Well, I'm kind of hopeful that next season, because bear in mind, by the time he plays, we'll already have played probably 4 games.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the G7 Bruno Anderson triumvirate will be, he's going to have to fight to get into the team, along with Miley, along with Willock.
See, I hope they change the way they think, the way they play. That's what I would love. I'm very much like yourself, Win. I see Isak more as a number 10 or more on the left hand side. He's that like a free spirit, like a Maddison. he can create so much more when he's in the pockets of space than he ever can running behind. And I know he's got 24 goals this year, and he's been outstanding. But I just think he could create a lot more from a deeper position.
How did Henry play?
what I've
He
seen.
played on the left, didn't he? And he cut inside.
Yeah.
Different
never
opinions
a
about Tonali, so we'll see, I guess. But some people say he can't, some people say he can.
I've read somewhere that he's going to play in Australia.
Well, as long as the friendlies are not in front of an audience, that's probably right.
Yeah.
Because I know the ban included anything in front of an audience.
Right. Do we think Eddie will change formation or tactics next year?
I just said the stuff. Exactly that. I hope he does. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Not really. I think it'll still be. There'll be more pressing if the squad's a bit stronger, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But can we maintain that for a season, though, Paul? That's the question. We didn't this season, did we? We had that period around Christmas where we stopped pressing.
Yeah. Does Anderson play on the right? J7, Bruno, Anderson. I think it's got to be Tonali, Benjamin's saying.
Tonali and right.
Well, for the first 4 games.
But it's a good headache to have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then Anderson, I think.
I've never seen Tonali on the right-hand side. I've only seen Tonali play as a number 6.
They swapped them around in the first couple of games.
On the right side of the 3, I think they were Gary, not the
on the right, not as a right winger. That's what I got in my head. I got it as a right winger.
Oh no, yeah, the right side of the 3. Yeah, in the middle.
Of the 3, yeah. But you see, that's what that for me. That's what I said. I hope because it'll release Bruno a little bit more if we get if you've got J7 and Tonali in the middle, and then Bruno as that little hole, that pocket person that sits in between the forward line and our midfielders. You've got a formidable midfield there. To be fair, you've probably got one of the best midfielders in the Premiership.
Mm. But yeah, nice problems to have as well for Eddie, isn't it? Giving people headaches. Apparently, the banning includes FIFA and UEFA sanctioned games. So
there you go.
I'm just busy trying to find anything definite.
What about? Do we need a goal scoring central midfielder though? Because I know Longstaff's got 8 goals now, but really none of these guys score many goals. Do they? We've got other teams like they can shove people in the centre who can score them 15, 20 goals a season. So I don't know if we're missing out. Like even Bruno Fernandes, for example, how many's he got this season?
Maybe but how many have been penalties?
To do that, you need to change the 4-2-3-1 basically. So 4-2-3-1.
I thought Fernandes was the main penalty taker, isn't he, for Man U?
He is.
I think he's scored quite a few from open play as well.
He must have scored about 5 or 6.
See if we can find out.
3 kicks he's had.
Yeah, see if we can find out.
Yeah.
I mean, goal scoring midfielders, they don't come along like buzzes, do they? I mean, they're so hard to find. And even, like I said, for me, the one person I've actually missed a lot of this season is Trippier since December. I think we've missed that quality delivery into the box. We've not had that much this year from set pieces. And it's rode up a little bit.
He scored 10 goals and 4 of them have been penalties, apparently.
Speaking of Trippier, do you think he starts against Man United?
Trippier? I think he does.
Okay.
Because he came on the last minute, so
I wonder
maybe last half an hour against Man U and then Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. I still think it's going to be Tino.
I just wonder if you go with old head.
That's for me. The only way Trip starts for me is if Tino's moved further forward.
But do you think maybe
Tino right wing?
Even though he didn't have a particularly good game on Saturday, it's probably the worst game he's had for us. But
agree.
I would still have him in the side because he's such an intelligent player. You can see, and he controls the ball instantly, turns.
Very calm, isn't he?
He's very, very good.
The 2 fullbacks, I think, should play, but I just think Eddie might go with experience. He does like to put the experience in for these big games sometimes. So,
well,
got a funny feeling.
Tino's got a bit of experience at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
as we know.
Great in the League Cup.
Come on, Howe.
That was the game where those two kind of emerged, wasn't it?
We need a bit more of that magic on the Wednesday, please, lads. That'd be lovely. Get one over on Mark.
Are we going to update the sheet? Are we doing
More of the
I
same?
haven't got any of the stuff here, mate.
Hide
Okay.
it.
Like I say, it's Chris got there, hasn't he?
I think the
Burn the
idea
sheet.
is. By the way, I didn't even say it at the start. Sorry, everyone. So the idea is that Sunday used to be the mags on 5, 6, whatever it's been now. That's now going to be the features that everyone either loves or hates. The Donkey of the Week, all that is going to move to Mondays, I believe Chris said. So Sunday's going to be more of like just getting on what's happened. Any latest.
I think that's just for this week, Paul. Is it not with Chris being away?
I think it's moving forward. I believe.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Chris is a man who likes to change his mind. We love him, though. That's why we keep sacking him. That's why we keep sacking him.
Gary there with a conspiracy theory, because that's exactly what I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
Really bad.
They put in a bid in the summer.
Yes,
Can they afford it? They seem like
I don't know if they get a bid, but it's always in the back of my mind.
That's a can of worms, isn't it?
Milan knew exactly what they were doing when they let us have him for what we got him for.
But why would you let him then? Why would Newcastle just bend over and put him back over there?
Well, because
I think the problem is
weren't aware of the.
No, what I mean is right.
Yeah,
so why are we just going to go give him back to him?
Well, if the price is there, like
I'm not saying give him back to them.
Yeah, the guys are saying about selling somebody. If the right price comes in for him, why not him? Because you've not used him, have you?
Sell him for 100. Happy days. 80. Sell him for 80.
Would anyone pay 100 for him now? He hasn't played for you.
If they want him back, take him for 80.
Well, Milan would be the only ones.
That was the $1 million question, wasn't it? If you were to be offered 100 million for Gordon, would you take it?
No chance.
No. God no.
No.
21.
Probably the best player in the league.
He's fantastic. I wouldn't sell Gordon.
Liverpool
I wouldn't get rid of Isak. If you get rid of Isak,
Tony Bud boys were speculating today that Liverpool are going to give Newcastle a headache.
Why?
By coming in with they're going to scupper Arsenal's £100 million for Isaac plans.
They've got 100 million.
Well, I wouldn't sell him for 100 million. No, I wouldn't.
And Liverpool don't have 100 million. Their owners are notoriously tight.
they bought Sab. What did they pay for?
They'll have to sell Nunes and
whatever his name is
players
in the summer.
Yeah.
Oh well, apparently they're selling Salah to Saudi for 150 million.
Really? Still, even at this age,
That's what I heard.
he's like 33.
That fair market value.
Not worth it. He's not worth it.
Yeah, that's mad. That's ridiculous. Isn't it?
They've got no connection.
32. It'll be
Oh,
32
because if
next
they can
month.
get 100 million for Salah, then we can certainly get 50 million for Callum.
Callum Wilson. I would. I'd sell Callum Wilson for a lot of money.
Miggy. Sell Miggy for 25.
Well, I mean, the last few games, Sean's done nothing to knock his price down, has he?
No, he's been good the
Not
last
at all.
couple of games. To be fair to him, give the devil his dues.
If we get 50 for Miggy Wilson,
Yeah, we were talking about this in the pub yesterday. You know, if Sean Longstaff, because he's so good at getting into the box, if he could convert the chances that he should be converting, and could get you 12, 15, 18 goals a season, you wouldn't be bothered about his lack of ability elsewhere on the pitch.
Exactly.
If he could actually finish his chances, he'd be brilliant, because he's fantastic at getting into those positions. The trouble is he just doesn't finish.
I mean, he's got 8 goals, which is not bad, which is our 4th best.
But he should have, Damon, he should have had.
Reach 15.
Yeah, he should have had 15. But he's not been clinical, has he? But
Some of those misses were shocking.
Yeah, Barnes hasn't bad.
And therefore, when he's so crap at doing everything else, he doesn't get away.
He's not the answer. He's not that, because most of those balls are tap ins or just straight kick without control.
Well, I think that's a bit harsh, Roy, but
I mean,
I
yeah,
would have
get
scored
there,
some
isn't
of
it?
them.
we saw this today.
getting yourself there.
We saw this from Romano as well, Keith. So Romano posted out that Tosin and Lloyd Kelly both looked like that they were destined to come to Newcastle. As Chris likes to call him, I want to buy a yo-yo. Wants to come to Newcastle. He's picked to come to Newcastle. So that sounds like a positive move. I guess that Lloyd Kelly, does he make sense if we get both? I don't know if we're a bit overloaded.
I think it does.
I think he does. Yeah.
I think we need two because of the injuries.
I think they're both no-brainers
Injuries.
for me.
Yeah.
If we can get both of them
totally.
on a free.
And the end
You're not going to see Lascelles till January or Botman till January of next year, are you?
Yeah.
And Lascelles will be out.
You need to.
And
I
the
mean,
Cells
he'll
will
be
leave
sold.
the season after.
Yeah, he'll be sold.
Then he
Yeah.
will probably have Kraft next year, and then he'll be
And
gone.
and then Kraft will probably be let
And
go,
if you're getting them on a
Shaw will
free,
be back
anything
up.
you get for them when if Botman comes back, Shea's back, we've got BDB, anything you get for them then, if you move them on, it's all bottom line.
Yeah. And
Plus, you've also got that
Plus you got-
versatility. haven't you?
Plus we'll lose them and Richie, they'll leave.
The only question mark, I
Yeah,
suppose,
exactly.
is
Making the
It would
squad
leave us-
overall better.
they would leave us next year, 2025, with 3 left-footed centre-backs. Is that too much? Is that overkill? Byrne, Botman and Lloyd Kelly. And we'd only have Adebayo. We'd only have him as the right-sided centre-back and Shaw maybe
I'm
as
going to buy a yo-yo.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy some yo-yos.
So here, here's one for you. For years, we used to have right-footed, left-sided players.
Yes.
So why can't we have left-sided, right-footed, right-sided?
No,
players?
it's true, but for some reason, it doesn't
Inverted centre backs.
work. Yeah.
It doesn't really make much difference. Really.
We've got
It doesn't-
JJ.
yeah,
not
They use both. They use both.
And to be fair, if I am 100% honest, I would prefer somebody with a good tackling left foot for the amount of left and right wingers now that cut inside onto their strong foot. It allows you then to get on your strong foot yourself when you're making the challenge.
It's
as
an
a centre
interesting
half.
point because, like, when you think about fullbacks as well, we've had people like Aaron Hughes and Griffin who were right-footed, but they played left-back.
Right-footed.
But we haven't had many left-backs who played right-back. Like Bernard never played right-back. Beresford never played right-back.
Listen,
I don't know why.
I'm left-footed. It's weird, mate. I literally, it's a standing foot only, your right side, and that is it. It was never meant for anything else apart from hoof the twat.
Yeah.
Hoof the twat.
That's
Same as mine. My left is useless. No, I can't do anything.
I trained my
I
left.
can stop. I can stop the ball with it. That's it. And that's it.
That's probably good as mine was.
I'm quite two-footed, but my
Standing room only, mate.
yeah. Don't see too many
But
two-footed players.
it is strange how we think about balance, isn't it? About you must have a right-footed centre back there and a left-footed centre back there. When you're playing with a 3 across the back, does it matter? Type of thing.
But was
Howie?
was Steve Howie left-footed? In my head, he was, but maybe not. But I'm just thinking because he played with Albert, didn't he, a few times?
Yeah. I don't think he was he?
Was he right-footed?
He was right-footed.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. That was my go-to, but no.
But again, I am guessing, mate, because I'm trying to rack my brains here and remember how he. No, I'm sure he was right-footed. I'm absolutely 100% sure he was right-footed.
And has anyone heard about Shaw? Like, what's the situation with Shaw? Is there any chance of him starting against Man United?
Not heard a thing, mate.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Because we could do with him coming back.
The only thing I've heard about Shaw was this.
He'll beat them on the ground, he'll beat them in the air. Oh, Fabian Shea, beat them on the...
Oh, that's his best song, I think. And what are the balloons behind
Also,
Roy? That's the
gift that
question
keeps
everyone's
on
been
giving.
asking.
Yeah, indeed.
Whose birthday is it?
It was. It's
30th.
What's that?
Daughter graduated
TT.
a couple of days ago from high school.
Graduation.
Oh, I thought it was your birthday. I was going to say.
24. Yeah, she's 24.
I was going to say, you're never 24, mate.
When I was 24, Spice Girls were number 1.
Take it away, Ray.
Burn. Don't give it. Oh, just hoof it, man. Oh, He passed it back to him, and he.
Who's the twat? Fuck's sake, man.
Sudden change of pitch. Is that
I'll go down to the idols of history. That.
Very good.
Everyone from Dubai yesterday was like, "You're too negative. You're too negative. Why? You should support the team and stop slagging the players off. It's going to bring negative energy." But how the fuck is Miggy and Longstaff going to hear me from here? They got 4,000 miles away.
They're watching the stream.
These shit doesn't matter if I spoil them or not. These shit. So doesn't make me not a supporter. I'm just it's me. We used to slag Blues off. Remember?
Sean,
How come things change now?
when it comes to power shots, it was like swinging a dead piece of meat. Piece of dead meat.
Oh, with Miggy.
Well,
Miggy. Guys, what do you think of the dive?
and that dive is ridiculous. I don't know what he's doing. Honestly, he has a chance to score.
Well, what about his right foot shot, though?
Well, it wasn't really a
Nah,
shot.
You know what it
was
is?
a good shot.
Which one was that?
Nah, he just put his foot in it.
Yeah, it's a pass.
Went to the keeper.
No,
Yeah,
he didn't. He hit that.
If he right, if he uses we're 2-0 up against Milan. If he
Very good save.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if that was me, I would have had a better shot than him.
Yeah.
And that's why I say,
Any other business guys before we wrap it up? Anything else you want to bring up before we go?
No, just
prediction? Or we're doing that tomorrow?
I think that's tomorrow, isn't it?
Predictions is
yeah,
tomorrow.
we're doing all the predictions tomorrow.
Yeah, doing all that jazz. Yeah. Well, guys, we're getting over an hour, so thanks for everyone for joining. We do appreciate it. Again, just another thank you because the weekend's been amazing again for numbers. So thank you so much. Thanks for making us one of your favourite places to come. Get loads of nice comments, so thank you. I saw a little comment in there. The Man United fan going, "Man United is going to beat you on Wednesday." We'll see, my friend. We'll see how we get on.
Fix the floods. Yeah. It's raining,
Nah.
So we'll see what happens on Wednesday, Mister.
Theatre of streams, isn't it? Theatre of
theatre of screams.
No
streams.
No, streams, water streams. Yeah.
Not got any questions in there. Have we?
Fix it. Fix your roof, man.
I've got all those. Yeah. But yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming. We'll see you tomorrow. I think at 10 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's only 10 o'clock when Chris is here. So 10 o'clock for, is it a actual preview? Because I guess it must be, because it'll be for Wednesday. So tomorrow will be the preview.
Hold on, Paul. Just before you go, a little stat that Derek Oating's brought into us. Longstaff scored the same as Martinelli, Silva, Diaby, and loads of top players. So there you go. Thanks for that one.
Martinelli's missed about 20 games, but
exactly. It's still a stat. It's still a stat.
No, but he's like 8 goals is his best ever season in the Premier League.
That's the same lad where he
in all
swapped
competitions.
Martinelli with Longstaff. I know that.
No way. No, he's had like moments. He's had his moments this season for sure. Yeah. Let's not say he's been as bad as some people say.
Yeah,
no. Right, guys,
okay.
We'll see you tomorrow for the preview. Come on to that, and we'll get into the banter with the Man United idiots. Because also we'll get into a rant maybe tomorrow because Sky Sports yet again put Newcastle versus Manchester United.
Yeah, that's always going to happen.
So we'll get into the rant.
Man U fans are rattled. That's why they're here.
Give us 10 years, we'll address the balance.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for the preview. Thank you so much for coming. All the best.
See you later,
guys. Hit the likes on the way out, please.
Yeah, if you hate Sunderland, hit the likes.
Thanks.